overwhelming wave of inquiries and interest, I did not want to contradict what my political party was reporting. I felt that there was always the risk and temptation if we prematurely communicate on some of these things, that we may find ourselves in a situation where long before we arrive at where we are today, that there will be stories about this one said this, the other one said that, and that is why I opted to just wait until the moment is right. I know you came to council last week and I was not here. I wanted to speak to you when I can speak with absolute authority and certainty on any matter that you would want to raise with me. So the facts are out there now. I have, as I speak to you, effectively resigned. Council has accepted my resignation. Before the resignation was presented to council, my political party, the African National Congress, accepted my departure and resignation, and by so doing gave me the green light to then submit my resignation to council. We had to deal with certain legislative imperatives, which dictates that we can only hold a council having given 48 hours notice, and that is why the council took place today, but also at this hour. It was because we want, ordinarily we hold our council meetings at 2 o'clock, but if we had called our council meeting at 2 o'clock, we would not have met the 48-hour notice. Alternatively, we would have had to shift the council to tomorrow. And that is why we have this odd hour briefing with you. So perhaps it's an opportunity for me to hear more from you if there's anything else that you would want to know. The heart of the matter is now common cause. I have resigned. So if you had that question, let me answer you. Yes, I have resigned. I'm no longer the executive mayor for the city of Polokwane. But I will pause here, Malo, and I think more allow the media, because I don't think they're here to find out if I have resigned. They know that. They would probably have other questions, and let me hear, so that I also don't try and preempt their questions. Let me hear what they would want. If there's any value I could bring to their stories or articles, I shall do so now. So thank you very much for the opportunity, and I shall await your questions.
Okay, thank you very much, colleagues. Can I note hands for questions? Jeffrey, that was quick. Are these the only two hands for now? Okay, Jeffrey and then Pudi.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm Jeffrey Murala from Capricorn FM. I just want to understand, Mayor, if were you under pressure, or what actually motivated you to render this resignation letter to the ANC? And since there were speculations about your resignation, when did you actually render your letter to the ANC to resign as the executive mayor? Thank you.
Okay. I'm Putra Jena for Daily Sun. Mine is maybe like the one I teach. During your State of the City address, you mentioned that there are some people who are looking for the positions of mayor, or in political language, so can you at least explain if this thing doesn't interact with your resignation in any way? Or maybe it's the one if you resigned.
My name is Alfred, freelance for Saturday Star. The ANC has since said that the recalled mayors will not be dumped. It means they will be deployed somewhere else. So in your case, it's a different one. You have tendered your resignation. So I just want to understand where to from here.
Okay. Do we have any other questions before we allow them? I think that's all for now.
Okay. Let me start from the bottom and work my way up to the more difficult questions. Where to from here? I would have preferred not to, at this stage, disclose. Not that I'm not ready to disclose. I just don't want my departure to be mixed with where I'm going. I am going into the private sector. I'm going to start something new. I think I will make, you will pick it up at the appropriate time. But for now, I just don't want it intertwined with. I want to, at this stage, deal with and conclude the departure, the ending, close this chapter. And then I can deal with that particular chapter. But as you say, the options of other deployments and redeployment and so forth, it does not obtain to me, as you correctly say. So I am going out on my own. I must also say that many have been asking me or trying to draw a correlation between my decision to depart with the sacking of mayors. How do they, in fact, some have even alleged that maybe it is out of sympathy for those who have left. A journalist called me yesterday saying that he heard that I am leaving because I can't work with this leadership that is here, or I don't want to work with them, or whatever the case is. Now, you say in the state of the, or during the State of the City address, I made mention to certain things. What I find quite astonishing is that everybody who has made an issue out of that particular thing has made an issue out of it because or after I mentioned it. But I was actually sharing with you what was in the newspaper. Get the Observer. I can get you the specific date of the Observer. So how people apportion and attribute that to me is beyond me. If it is a story, start from the beginning. Did you not see the story that said Greaver and Mapolo must be removed because there is a group in the ANC that wants to weaken and remove them because they must be removed before a regional conference is coming. And it ends with saying that they are the last of the Matale people. Why do you want to give that to me? Because it was there, unless people were not aware of it or something. This story is there, and I am repeating what is public knowledge. But it then becomes a big issue. Nobody said anything. Nobody responded even to that thing. Nobody said, this is right, this is wrong. Nobody said, this will happen, this won't happen. But the minute I quote from that, it makes a big story. So, and it's almost as if it originates with me. It didn't. Maybe I must get a copy of that paper and give to everybody. Because everybody is saying, state of the set. No. That thing, I was reading, in fact, by then, it was more than a week old. If my memory, actually not a week, it was almost a week that it was out there. So, no, the story about people wanting me out, people chasing me, is not me saying it. I never said it. I said it is in the Observer. And if you don't believe, I'll get you the Observer. That's where it comes from. So I wouldn't want to be the one who must speak to these things. Do they exist? Don't they exist? Who are they? Go and ask the Observer where they got it. Go and ask the Observer if those people exist, because that's where the story came from. I was quoting from it. Was I under pressure? And what motivated me to leave? And when did I give my letter to the ANC? I gave my letter to the ANC on Monday morning. It was dated Sunday, but at the time when I wanted to deliver it, I could not reach the provincial secretary after the ANC Lokotla. And I had to leave for another engagement in Gauteng, so I had requested my office. So although it was dated Sunday, it only reached the provincial office on Monday morning. I think Joshi can give us the exact time, around 8:30. So that's the last part of the question. Let me share a tale with you. And in this, I'm attempting to indirectly answer some of the many questions that you are trying to put together, because there's an issue around me leaving because mayors are sacked, me leaving because I don't support this leadership, me leaving because I was pressurized, and all those particular stories. So, in the month of February, while I was executive mayor, I requested and was granted a meeting with the Premier and Chairperson of the ANC in our province, the Honorable Matabat. In that meeting, I requested the Premier to release me. I gave him an explanation of a life-changing opportunity that I had. And I requested him to please allow me to go because this is a game changer to me. But I went to meet with him because of my appreciation of him as both the Premier as well as the chairperson of the ANC. I requested him not only to release me, but that he must guide me on how we manage that because I did not want to create any embarrassment, any challenge, any crisis for the ANC. The Premier requested me not to leave because we had an election facing us, and said to me he understands the opportunity I have. He will never stand in my way. But told me, this is not the time to leave. I need you to help me with Polokwane going towards the election. I don't have to tell you that I stayed. Now, having shared this tale with you, the question is, would somebody who does not subscribe to the leadership, who does not want to work with this leadership, do what I did? Not only, and if you want to follow up, if you have the slightest suspicion that I am not telling the truth, I'm asking you not to speak to any praise singer of anybody. I said I met with the Premier. If you want to revisit this, you must revisit it because the Premier says, I never spoke to you. Did I